You know, as I was out in my morning coffee run this morning, I started getting hit with adverts like this, or potentially this. And I just thought to myself, these are all kind of the same. They're too clean, they're too polished. So in this video, after I finish my coffee, we're going to be making a luxury watch advert. As a drop of water just hits me. I hope that wasn't bird poo. We're going to be making a luxury watch advert better. All right, everybody, welcome to the studio. So this is where I essentially film everything that you see on this channel. But let's sit down really quickly and review this video that we're going to make the ad similar to. Let's talk about what I think's wrong with it, where it needs improvement, and what we're going to do. By the way, guys, just a little FYI, these are the watches that I was filming today. On the left, just here, you have a Hamilton khaki field quartz, and on the right, you have a mechanical, and look how cool those two are. All right, everybody, so now that we are in the studio, let's have a look at the video that kind of inspired me to do this whole thing and to go and film this, because to me, watch adverts seem very samey. Actually, anything in the luxury watch industry or the luxury industries in general, they seem to lack soul, to lack charisma. They just lack something that makes it human. They seem to lack. But let's review the video that inspired me to do this at the moment, and let's pause it and talk about it as we go. By the way, before we go on, Blancpain, what an underrated brand. The thing about these shots is they're all actually very, very well done. The lighting's perfect. There's not an imperfection in sight, but it's the natural imperfections that make things subsequently perfect to someone. And I think that's what watch ads get wrong. They think that clean, polished nature is what's going to attract people to the watches, but it's not about that. It's about the stories that you can create and link to your timepieces. Whoever filmed this is an absolute genius in lighting, in photography, videography, all of this, but it's lacking something. That last shot of the 50 fathoms, absolutely stunning, but it's almost so clean that it looks AI. It looks fake. It doesn't look real, because in real life, there are imperfections in life. I mean, you walk into someone's flat, you wouldn't expect the entire flat to be clean, polished, and perfect. There's gonna be natural wear and tear that's picked up over time, and that soul is what I feel this video is lacking. Okay, and now we're gonna go to the editing suite, and we're gonna talk about what we're gonna do with this video, how we're gonna make it better. Woo! All right, everybody, welcome to the editing suite. You know, the great thing about the editing suite that we've kind of built here is it's right above the studio. It's directly above the studio. I'll actually show you. So that is the studio. And it means that when podcast guests are in just here for the Into the Mind podcast, we can have the team sitting up here taking notes of what's going on down here. Also, if you want to join me just in the floor here, we have quite a cool setup. So in front of me is a drawer with a magic swiping light with all the lenses. Then you have the cameras just above it. And then over here you have all the charging equipment. Up here you have red and green. Red is out of charge, green's in charge, or red is fully used, like an SD card, and green is not used, it's free. And over here you have the charging station. And then to my left, you have all the packaging and the bags. And this is where you start to see that I am extremely OCD when it comes to videography. Also, you might be able to see just above, we have a brilliant Rolex Explorer image for the time I went to Zermatt with Adrian. And most of the images in the studio are watch related, but that's one that kind of sticks with me. Right, team, we are successfully in the editing suite, and the first thing we're going to want to do is open Premiere Pro, because that's what I essentially edit everything on. Jeez, it is absolutely cooking here, because this is like the upper floor. All the heat seems to travel up, makes things just so hot and sweaty up here, which is not good. Okay, right, we're successfully into Premiere Pro, which is our editing suite. So now that we're into Premiere Pro, we want to label our project. So let's call it Blancpain 50 fathoms advert. And then after that, let's put vibes. Okay, so now that we've got our Premiere Pro project up, we're gonna want to import all the videos that we got into the project. And then after we import the videos, we need to find music. Now, music is so key in any edit, especially cinematics. It is the make or break for cinematic videos. It's super, super important. And we're gonna take a look at music together and see what we find. Okay, so I'm just gonna start swiping through and seeing what the vibe is, seeing what I want to portray. And I think epic and euphoric, just looking at these two here, seem to be, that's what is coming into my mind, right? So I'm gonna go on euphoric and let's just start having a look. It's definitely not it, definitely not it. Let's go on to more, let's go on to dreamy, maybe? Sentimental, let's try sentimental. No, that's definitely not it. See, I want more of a build-up. I want kind of slow into fast for the pacing of the video, because the video is all about soul. It's all about the adventure, and I want to portray that, so you need pacing in the music. No. Absolutely not. Dreadful. It's pretty good. Not the vibes, though. This is it. 100%. Right, okay, so we found the music. It wasn't on Epidemic Sound, but we managed to find it somewhere else. We're gonna download that, put it into our timeline, and then we move on to the next stage. Okay, so the music is successfully in the timeline. That is this green bar you can see just here. That is exactly what that is. That is your timeline. So on the left-hand side, you have all our files. I filed them day by day in terms of what we did, and also the day of the week or whatever day of the project it was. And I'm going to start cutting up clips and putting it in my timeline. And then after that, we can go on to sound design, color grading, and then we can see what we have. Okay, so a little bit of an update. I wasn't vibing with the song, so I decided to change it, which consequently rewrote the whole of my edit, so I had to kind of start from scratch. Also, it turns out that 2 terabytes of footage is a lot of footage to work through. So this is taking a while. Actually, it's taking 3 hours, which is kind of crazy. So the next thing we're going to look at is color grading. This is important. This is very important. Okay, so on our timeline right here, what we have is an adjustment layer. This is a layer that goes above all your clips, and you can add your personal flavor, you can add your personal color grading to everything that's below it. So essentially it makes your whole video uniform. This isn't your minor adjustments, it's not your S-curves and contrast and whatever you want to do to the individual clips. This is more of a basic grade for the entire thing. Now this is really important because you don't want your footage to be blocky. You don't want one color grade jumping to another. You want it to be uniform, right? You want it to flow. So what I've done is I've selected one of my personal grades, and let me just show you at the moment the difference when it's on versus when it's off. So on this clip, you can see Holly walking across the sand dunes in Deadly. It's actually a clay flats. It's not salt flats, it's clay flats, but never mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it off and on. Off and on. Off and on. Now, this isn't perfect by any means, but it gives a really good base to start with when grading. So that's what we're going to do right now. And that's that. So without the color grade, I will show you now, is that really blue, but with the color grade, you're getting a lot more of that warmth. Actually, in doing that, I think it's just a little bit too warm. So I'm just going to scale that back just a touch. And now all I have to do is do it for every single clip on this video. So I'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, so that is all the color grading done. We've got pretty much all the placement done as well. So there's one final step to bring this all together, to make it just the chef's kiss. And that is one of the most important things of all that everyone forgets when filmmaking, doing video editing. It's sound. But what you might be wondering before we get onto that is, why have I all of a sudden got a beard and why am I dressed differently? Well, that's because it's been 2 weeks. Welcome to my world. Alright, so as you can see here, we've got this beautiful shot of Holly kind of walking towards us through the dead trees of Deadly. And what you really want in shots like this is ambient sound, right? You want the wind, you want the sand getting kicked up, you want all those little details that aren't naturally recorded, right? Because right now we don't have any sound design below this, we just have the music. And then if I'm to kick on a little bit, let's just choose a random point. We've got a funny point where Holly actually jumped on to me because she couldn't get down the ladder. So what we want here is women laughing, maybe a group laughing, maybe we use some of the raw sound as well, and we put it into that clip to make us feel like we're there. And on that note, it's really weird, the light just here started flickering and it's gone all kind of dull, and I just watched Stranger Things, which makes it even weirder. But on that note, let's do the sound design and then let's finally watch this advert. Oh my god, guys, that took so much longer than I thought it would. But listen, before I show you this advert, I just want to say this is my hobby. This is what I'm passionate about. I love making cinematic videos and putting my flair on something that otherwise can be perceived occasionally as quite mundane. So let me know what you guys think in the comments if you do enjoy this kind of cinematic trailer, if you want to call it that. Honestly, I had such good fun just creating this and bringing you guys along for something a little bit different than the typical watch videos that you see online. But listen, I really hope you enjoy it. I've definitely enjoyed creating it, and I'll see you guys very soon.
Govinda